Hello and welcome to the Style of Play podcast. I am your host Kojo of Free Midfield. I don't feel like I should say that these days. It doesn't really happen these days anymore. But here we are talking football, and of course, I am joined first. We're gonna do new teammates first because we've got a new teammate that's joined the team.
Hello.
She's a Liverpool fan, though. I know her personally. I love her, but she's a Liverpool fan, so it's a bit peak for me. Laura, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm good. Enjoying the football so far.
So far.
As a Liverpool fan. It's been good.
We're talking about the stuff that's happening this weekend, so no references allowed for previous weekends and what happened in the past. Okay, we just leave it there. Personally, for my own sanity, and yeah, man.
You got Southampton
next.
We've got Southampton next, but I'm talking about the past. We're not talking about the past. You know what I mean? We've had a nice international break.
Honestly, don't know what happened in the past. Can you jog my memory?
No, I can't. No, I can't.
You don't remember. That's fine. It's fine. You don't need to.
How you doing, Basil? You right?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Looking forward to Sunday, claiming 3 points. So yeah.
Oh well, we'll start there because the game you're referring to is the North London Derby, the very, very entertaining Arsenal versus Spurs matches. I believe this time will be Spurs versus Arsenal because the game is at White Hart Lane. You say that, but
it's a new stadium match called White Hart Lane, or do they actually have a name for that stadium?
I think it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but I know it's White Hart Lane, so showing age a little bit. But you say you're going to take 3 points, but you're missing two key men, as we now know. Obviously, Declan Rice is suspended through a very, very, very correct red card, no agendas, and
proven today that it was a correct red card, actually, as well.
Are we going to start all of this again?
We don't need to start it. We're not going back to the past, right? We're not going back to the past.
My bad.
The decisions made by corrupt mafias. Is that what we're doing now?
Hey man, I've seen
I've got an endless list. Literally have an endless list.
I've seen Emmanuel Aubameyang make a save with his hands and hit the post, and he got away with it. But hey, man, criminality is there for everybody. It happens for everybody. But you're also missing Odegaard now, who got injured over the international break. Looked like a horrible ankle injury. So how does Arteta set up? What are you expecting him to do?
You should set up the same. I mean, it's Tottenham. They leave themselves, and I say this in terms of they leave themselves open. Honestly. I think just because of the way Tottenham play, I think he should definitely keep it the same formation. There's no point going defensive because Tottenham always leave gaps in behind for you to exploit. So I don't think he should change the system to accommodate Tottenham just because Ange is very stubborn, has a certain style of play, and is always the same regardless. I mean, we saw the same last season when they played Chelsea and it went down to 9 men. He didn't change anything, didn't restructure. And even when they went through their bad one, it was still the same things that we're seeing. So I'll keep it the same. Yes, obviously we've lost. I think Declan Rice is probably the one we're going to miss the most, just in terms of defensive cover. Odegaard, I feel like I'm going to get stick saying this, I'm being honest. But I think Arsenal fans overrate Odegaard. I think Odegaard's a fantastic technical player. But I don't think I've said this many times, I don't think he's decisive enough in key games. I don't think he impacts a lot of games in the way he should. And obviously the biggest comparison I do with him is with Kevin De Bruyne. Like I said, if Kevin De Bruyne sees the pass, he plays it quickly. If he gets a chance to shoot, he shoots. Odegaard, for me, doesn't do those things. It has to be, he feels that everything has to be perfect before he does the move, whether it's a pass or a goal. So I think we'll miss Declan Rice more than Odegaard, if I'm being honest. And even if you look at the first 3 games, you can see how indecisive Odegaard is at times with the ball. But I think what it shows is that it shows how bad our summer's been, to be honest, because we've let a lot of players go and we just haven't strengthened the squad depth in quality enough. So obviously you can see now when we have a few injuries, it's like panic stations, and that all comes from the summer. We should have strengthened. We should have added more bodies to the squad, especially from an attacking sense, and we haven't done that. But regardless, I still think we have enough to beat Tottenham, personally.
What do you say, Laura? Do you agree with that? Do you think they're still got enough to beat Tottenham? Are we going to see Havertz in midfield again? Or
I'd like, well, not that I'd like to believe, but I do think they've got enough to beat Tottenham. Like, I don't think Tottenham are going to outplay them, play through them, defend against Saka well enough, defend against Havertz well enough. I don't think they can do that. Even playing out from the back the way they do, Arsenal can press and score incredibly easily. I think they like Basil said, they make themselves so open, and they don't change formation. They're so predictable to play against. It's a given. Sometimes you literally just have to be better football players than Tottenham to beat Tottenham on the day. Even like, I feel like even a bottom 3 team could beat Tottenham if they trained well enough that week. All of a sudden, you could play against them because they're so predictable to play against.
Damn.
But Ange won't change, so it is what it is.
Damn.
The most stubborn manager I think ever, bar Jose Mourinho. It has to be Ange. Has to be.
Yeah, to be fair, he's
even more stubborn than Ten Hag.
We're not talking about him.
Yes, I still think even more stubborn than Ten Hag. Yes.
What are you doing? We're not talking. Guys, can we focus on the people at hand?
We're back to focusing now.
Okay, all right. You know, Mourinho had a history with Tottenham, so that's good. That's good. Stay there. That's
and with United, but that's different.
I think we need to stop the podcast and talk about the memo again. We need to go back to what we discussed and what we agreed to. But no, you're right. You're right. He is very stubborn. But I would counter with, as much as you don't rate Odegaard and Declan Rice is missing, and you may still have enough with a couple of players being on the pitch, your left side tends to be a worry because we don't know if Martinelli or Trossard's going to start. No one's really showing form. Sterling's now added to the problem because obviously he's a new signing. Do you play with him? But in that midfield in particular, now, for Rice, maybe Jorginho comes in. But what about that number 10 position? Who fills that slot for Odegaard?
It wouldn't surprise me if he puts Havertz there. Maybe goes with Trossard as a false 9. Maybe I don't think he'll start Sterling just yet. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he goes Trossard as a false 9, Havertz behind, and maybe Martinelli on the left. That is what I'm guessing he's going to do. It wouldn't surprise me if he does that.
How would you do it? Both of you. How would you line up against Spurs? Also, we will discuss Spurs, but Spurs are missing Bissouma, maybe. And they're missing Richarlison, but I don't think any Spurs fans are crying about that. Just be real, to be honest.
If it was me personally, I'll go same back four as we usually have. Unfortunately, we have to go Partey Jorginho because we don't have anyone else in midfield. I'd probably put Trossard in front of them, and I'll probably give Sterling a start personally. Give him a start because I think there's a lot of space for him to exploit, and he does still have pace. He does still have good dribbling. So I think it's the kind of game where it will suit Sterling personally. Obviously, Saka on the right, and then obviously I would start Havertz. Well, we have no choice but to start Havertz up front because we don't really have any other striker. Because I think Gabriel Jesus was injured. I think he's back to fitness now. So, like I said, it's a risky then starting him. But I think Havertz, Sterling on the left, probably Trossard in front of Jorginho and Partey, and then Saka on the right. That's what I would do personally.
Yeah, Laura, what are you saying?
Yeah, similar. I'd keep the back four the same. Again, Partey and Jorginho in the middle, just because you have to. There's really no other solution. It's really shocking that you didn't get, just like Liverpool, to be fair, our transfer windows were horrendous, but that's a different conversation. Then Saka on the right as always. I don't know whether I'd play Martinelli in the middle.
No.
I've been thinking that as well, just because
I don't know whether I'd play Martinelli in the middle, Havertz up front, and Trossard on the left.
Oh, you want to give Martinelli a free roll?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Do you know what? I think I don't rate Martinelli, so that's the reason why. I wouldn't, honestly.
I personally do, but I don't know. But I feel like against Tottenham, it could be easier, maybe.
That's interesting, actually. Because
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, because he's quite I don't know if the word is maverick, but he's very unpredictable, because I feel like sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing as well. So
he could just run.
And he can go left, he can go right, so he can come in the middle and say, you go there. Don't know.
If you've got Trossard and Saka on either side of you, could probably make it work somehow.
Can I just ask a question? So no one has any confidence in Gabriel Jesus at all?
I would have picked Jesus, but he's injured. But
he's
not injured.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's returned back to fitness during the international break. He was injured prior. Okay. So that's the reason why.
So again, I don't think. Yeah, Arteta wouldn't start him. I don't think anyway. He might be on the bench this weekend.
Right. How the mighty have fallen. Okay.
Spurs £55 million on this guy too.
You know what? I know that brings you pain, so we're not going to do that right now. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Breathe. Spurs quickly. Because we haven't got a Spurs fan here, so I don't want to speak for them too tough. But of course, I obviously mentioned that Basuma is a doubt because he limped off for Mali during the international break. Richarlison is not fit. Like again, I said that they don't really care about that. But Van der Ven is training and he's fine. The interesting one is Dave. Of course, timing is everything, isn't it? Solanke is back from injury, so obviously he's played a game and then he got injured, but he's back just in time, of course, for the North London Derby.
Okay, the injury looked worse than it was.
Yeah,
on the day.
I believe so. Okay. Yeah, I believe so. So the news is that he's likely back, at least on the bench anyway. Do you think this could be the game for him to have like a deciding effect on the game, or do you think they're gonna try and stick with what have they even been doing? I guess it'll be Son,
who did they play last time? Son, Solanke.
So Solanke didn't play last game. They played Kulusevski,
Son.
Brennan Johnson came off the bench, Son, and no, that's it. I think so. Yeah, I think that was it. Of course, number 10 was Maddison. Of course. So yeah, Son might probably be the number 9. And they'll probably go for someone on the wings instead. Maybe Odegaard instead. Maybe is that?
I think they probably would start with Odegaard because he looked good in the last game that he played. It wouldn't surprise me even if he throws Dominic Solanke in there from the start. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he does, just because he's had like 2 weeks to kind of work his way back to fitness because of the international break. So it wouldn't surprise me if he gives him a start. Tottenham are a funny team because they do have attacking depth, surprisingly. The issue they have is that a lot of those players are confidence players. So on their day, they can perform and hurt any team. But then it just depends on how confident these players are, because you're talking about Son, Kulusevski, who else is there? Solanke is there. Maddison's there. I know Richarlison, I don't rate him highly, but on his day, he can cause problems. Brennan Johnson, for me, I don't understand how he's just misused, because ultimately, I thought he was a decent player at Nottingham Forest playing up front. Right. But somehow they bought him and they're playing him as a winger. And for me, he's never, ever been a good winger. And you've seen it throughout his time at Tottenham, but yet consistently, they play him out wide, and he's so ineffective.
Do you think he has the finishing ability to be their main number 9? Because I think he's
so too. I mean, look at some of the goals he scored when he was at Forest. Some of the finishes were actually quality finishes when he was at Forest. It's just that I don't know what's going on at Tottenham. He's never had a run up front, even when there are no strikers, which for me is beyond strange to me, because he's, like I said, he's not the greatest of dribblers one-on-one. His crossing isn't great. And so I don't understand.
I was just about to say that,
Fair. Okay. I haven't considered that as well, to be fair. Oh, sorry, we got a comment from Theo, who is part of our team, saying Chelsea to win the league. I believe he's talking about his foot manager save, not actual live football. So it's all good, Theo. I see you. Good luck in your title winning season on FM, man. I'll catch you there. But shout out Theo. Okay, I'm gonna push you guys for a score prediction. I'll make mine after you guys. I'm gonna go with Laura first.
No, don't go me first. I have no idea with Tottenham.
No. Fair. Okay, Basil, shoot, go for it.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Okay.
Yeah.
Laura, if I can push you for a result.
3-2 Arsenal.
Damn. Okay. All right. 3-1 Spurs. Anyway, Chelsea ownership turmoil. Right.
There had to be one.
Listen, there will never be a day in my life where I support. Well, I was not even support. I'll just give Arsenal a positive result. That's just.
Oh, come on! You can't hate that. Actually, no, you can't.
Only when you need us to do you guys favors. That's when you
literally. Are you begging?
Thing is, no, I'm not in a position for anyone to give me any favors because my team sucks. So that's not something for me right now. So yeah, I hope you guys just falter. That's what I need. So yeah, 3-1 Spurs, and they will be and have its own goal as well. So don't add them to your FPL team. Anyway, Chelsea's ownership turmoil. Where do we even begin with Chelsea?
What is going on?
Because there's stuff about new stadiums.
Where's Theo? We need Theo now.
Where are you when we need you?
Very convenient. Very convenient.
So in the last week or so, what we've heard is their owners or co-owners are at loggerheads about the direction of the club, about this, that, and the other. Apparently, they want to build a new stadium around Earl's Court. For anyone that knows where Chelsea Stadium is, it's not very far from Earl's Court, but knowing Earl's Court, I don't know where the hell you build a stadium around there.
Yeah, because there's not much space.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much space. Exactly. I don't know how or where they're going to build the stadium, but maybe they found some land. Who knows? And well, we can't talk about transfers anymore because transfer window's done. But we saw what they did in the window. They bought a whole load of players. Here's the doozy for you guys. The Premier League were happy to accept the fact they sold their hotels to their sister company to pass PSR rules. Now, I'm going to say this right now because I guess Todd Bowley as an individual is like he's an individual asset away from Chelsea. So if he buys it from Chelsea themselves and puts under his name, it becomes his business, not Chelsea's business anymore. So technically, it's a loophole, but it works. You've made a legal. Well, it is, but it looks like they made a legal sale. So that's helped them pass the rules.
Yeah. The only issue they're gonna face is that that's not allowed under UEFA rules. So obviously it passes under the Premier League rules. But if they were to get into like the Champions League, or even just UEFA, because I don't know how it impacts them in the Conference League, but it's going to impact them in future years because they won't consider that.
Yeah, exactly that. So interesting time at Chelsea, which is I find the sister thing to be funny, but where do they go from here?
Is that sorry to interrupt you? Is that to say that Chelsea made more money than they actually did, and that's why they could spend more money?
I think.
They're fudging the books. So it's about how much, because obviously what they're trying to do is balance. They made a lot of money. They bought a lot of players, but obviously the contracts, as we know, are long contracts. So it's spread over. So the full value doesn't count for this year. Obviously, to balance their books, they need to show that they've made money to justify it. So by selling these things, it just looks like, we've made money to kind of balance things out.
Yes, when they actually made.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
There you go. And that's why you've also been hearing stuff about which I didn't realize they had I think an ownership of Strasbourg, so they sold one of their players for 21 million euros.
Yeah, that was so dodgy
to them as well, right? It's just so much. Yeah.
Laura, a player they signed last summer and only made 2 pre-season appearances, and they've sold him for about 20 million to, like I said, a club which is under their ownership.
It's a joke. Absolutely joke.
That
And
is just.
This is why.
Surely Manchester City have done have done similar things then.
Oh, that City group thing.
That's the only way they're going to get away with all of this in court, no?
Yeah, that City group thing that they've set up is
That's how they're able to sign
That's
people.
how it's working.
Yeah,
exactly. Savinho, all these guys, it's all part of that City group nonsense. This is why I always take, the Mickey out of those guys that come and say they call our clubs. Funny enough, our clubs here, teams that wear red, the red cartel, because it seems like the teams in blue are the teams that are doing criminality behavior, and then when they get punished for it, they're upset. Everton.
It's a blue cartel.
Yeah. Everton fans are criticizing, saying, "Oh, this time the other about Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool," and then Man City put out a statement saying, "Oh, Raw against the majority or whatever BS it was," and then put a nice little token in there saying, teams like Everton are being treated some way, and then they're like, "Oh, they care about us." No, they don't. No, they don't. This is business. They don't care about you. When you get relegated and start your new stadium in the Championship, you think City are gonna be talking about you? I don't care who you are. Let's be serious here. So that red cartel stuff, yeah, you know what? If we're doing dodgy deals behind in the background, yeah, you know what? Run it. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's even do a triple transfer. Let's send Kelleher to Arsenal and send, I don't know, we haven't got it on there anymore. Send Jorginho to United. Since we're taking old DMs anyway, we might as well take another one. And then, we give Liverpool Salah's contract's out next summer, so we give him Anthony. Left foot for left foot, right wing for right wing. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
Oh, can you imagine?
Laura just had a visual of
the funny
with 11
I had a vision of the future.
If that ever happened, the meltdown on Twitter.
Oh my!
No, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm already not on social media, but I would go back to social media to see it all and then deactivate again. Like that's how.
No, especially with like the Liverpool transfer business. The whole summer,
Of course.
chaos.
Of course, I can imagine. It would have been chaos.
Oh yeah, Liverpool's transfer activity has been hot topic. We'll ask you. I'm going to ask about your thoughts.
Because there's been nothing there. How can it be such a hot topic for nothing? There's nothing to talk about. Why is it such a? There's nothing.
That's the point. Why is there nothing to talk about?
Because why is there nothing? You signed the young lads from Chelsea, Rio and something.
Oh, a young kid from Chelsea.
Yeah, you signed a 16-year-old from Chelsea.
Look at that. You're helping them out with their PSR. Look what you're doing.
Helping them out. From Americans to Americans, literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
But on that, just Liverpool in the summer, like on Twitter, there's no way.
Just to get your thoughts, actually, what were your thoughts on the whole Zubimendi thing? Because I never actually asked you. So when that fell apart, what was this like a damn what's going on kind of thing, or? Yeah,
my first thought was, again, FSG, the same thing every time. And again, I kind of thought, like, are they not giving Slot a chance? Like, are they trying to not do what they did with Klopp, where he had a bit more say over transfers and signings and things like that? So I don't know. First season, I'll let it go for now, and then we'll see what comes after another transfer window. We'll see if Slot can be trusted, because it feels like it was just a thing of mistrust.
Fair. Because we were talking about it on here, and we came to the conclusion. Not say conclusion, but the idea thrown around was that what he suffered this summer in terms of not having anyone come in was what Klopp was probably told would happen this summer, and that's probably why he thought, I need a break.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna run off, which I understand because he's done a lot.
But I'm not sure why that's become a thing though. I don't know why they've decided to do that. I do feel like managers and head coaches should get more of a say on who gets signed, and obviously, like, there's a budget involved and things like that. But I do think managers and head coaches should have the deciding factor.
Do you know what? It also makes you realize, right? As much as, like I said, people may hate him, it makes you appreciate the likes of Abramovich and even the owners at City. And the reason why I say this is because you can see the ambition that they show of where they want to take the clubs, and the fact that they want to be serial winners in terms of activity in the summer. So like Abramovich, if Chelsea have a bad season, he's signing. If Chelsea have a good season, he's consolidating with his signings. There was never a moment where they kind of took their foot off the gas and thought, oh, what we have is enough. Same with City.
Yeah.
They could win a double or treble, but then they'll be in the summer and say, where are our weaknesses? We need to strengthen. And that all comes from the ambition at top, where it's like, well, we want to dominate. We want to make sure that we're known as the elite clubs. And Liverpool are in the same position as Arsenal, whereas it's just a lack of ambition. Whereas like you're competing, maybe you've fallen just about short, but then you come the summer, there's a lack of ambition to actually step and say, let's go again, but even better. And you're seeing
it seems a lot like we did well enough last year, it's all right. We can just push a bit more with the same team. And it's like, no, obviously we're missing something. And we've clearly made money. There's no way we don't have a budget for proper signings. 100%. We don't need to sign 16-year-olds, and we don't need to sign these random players. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's very weird, especially with Liverpool. And the reason why I say it's more weird with Liverpool is because you've had levels of successes in terms of you've won trophies, you've gone to finals, and you think that would at least inspire your board to actually say, you know what, we just need a bit more. And we can at least have a bit more to say, you know what, we've done very well. We can enter a period of dominance, the way United dominated in the past, the way City dominated in the past, the way even if you go overseas, the way Bayern dominate or Real Madrid have dominated in the Champions League. And that's because they keep consolidating and realizing that one trophy or just one victory isn't enough. We need to make sure that we bring in more players to push on and make sure that, you know what, we try and make it as non-competitive as we can, the way City have, where they keep buying players, and it's like we don't want these other teams to compete. But it seems that at FSG, it seems you've had a bit of success, and they're kind of, oh, we're happy with what we have. Let's go again without having to build and strengthen.
Yeah. And I used to think like it was a lack of trust, or there was a tight budget and the money wasn't being spent properly. But like the idea of lack of ambition actually makes sense, because you're like, you've won one Premier League in the last 30 years, and it doesn't feel like we challenge and we're close, but it never feels comfortable enough that we could and confidently do it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And I think it's the same for Arsenal as well.
100%.
Like, you know, you're challenged and you're close enough, but there's a part of you that just, you can't be confident that you could do it.
Do you know, it also reminds, I can't remember who did the interview. And I remember they were saying when, I think it was the Coutinho deal, I think they were saying that basically, if it wasn't for Coutinho, you guys wouldn't have signed, I think, Van Dijk or Alisson, because I think someone was saying that I think they were touted to go somewhere else. And that kind of shows in ambitions that, well, if Liverpool didn't sign those two players at that time, would they have gone for them in the summer? Oh no, would they have gone for them in the next transfer window, or would they have gone for them at all if they kind of missed that window of opportunity? And it makes me question the ambition of the board, where they're reactive in terms of the way they're spending and being proactive in the market, rather than, as I said, being proactive and saying, "Oh, we need this, guys. Let's go out and get them, and then we can kind of sort things out."
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the season goes for Liverpool, and if they do anything in January. They've started well regardless. I think I think
they'll do one compete. I think like I said, they still have winners in that squad. Players meant who want to win, like Salah, Van Dijk and co, Alisson, Trent and co, who want to win things. So I think that will push them to be competitive.
Well, Basil, you mentioned the people that are running out of contracts, man. It's a bit, it's a bit of a techie one.
Again, it's squad depth. Like, if Salah was to get injured, there's no one that can confidently replace him. If Van Dijk was to get injured, there's no one to confidently replace him. We have no defensive midfielder.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, if the Red Cartel band together, hopefully we can use some players. I got some people in mind for you. Don't worry, I got you.
I'd rather play myself than play Casemiro.
You know what? You're not even wrong. Damn it, you're not even wrong.
Like, there's no way in hell, bro. Like, there's just no way.
Oh God, man. Anyway, back to Chelsea quickly before we go to the next topic, which I think will be a quick talk on England and how they performed during the international break. What do we think would be an adequate punishment for Chelsea if UEFA do come for them?
You're asking us
when UEFA come
relegation.
Because okay, now they're in Europe, obviously. Oh no, are they?
They're not.
Yeah, they're in the conference. They're in the conference. Yeah, conference.
That's it. The conference league. That's qualify. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shout out for you. They had to qualify to get into the thing. Obviously, they're going to be in the league group like everybody else in Europe League and Champions League and their own thing. But if UEFA do, and so I should say when they do slam the book down on them, what do we think would be adequate punishment enough?
2 years banned from that competition, from any European competition. Hit them where it hurts.
Damn.
Yeah, give them a 2-year ban.
So basically, you're saying if Theo's dream of winning the league comes true, it's going to be like in The Fresh Prince when they're about to go on Oprah and he says, if you're going to go on Oprah, step forward. You go, wait, hold on a second. Where you going? You're not in Europe. We're not winning the league, but you're not joining us. No.
100%. I mean, that club, are the most ridiculous club, and I wish them nothing but failure. I've never liked Chelsea, right? But then at some point I was like, okay, cool. They're just there. But now they're just the amount of players this team have signed with no regard for anything or the rules whatsoever. I know the way they've done their business, then the treatment of players too, it's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. I wish them nothing but failure. And then obviously, these death row contracts for me is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And the fact that they're still extending players. They've extended Jackson. They extended Palmer for an extra year or two. I'm like, what are we extending, to be honest? They're already on 7-8 year contracts. And you're giving them, honestly.
Why are the players even accepting this? Why, if your agent calls you and says they want to extend your contract, say, why?
Which for me is the worst thing, because it just leaves you with little bargaining power for huge salary increases, which is why I don't understand why players sign contracts of that length, because then there's no appetite for Chelsea to increase their salaries.
Yeah.
And obviously the players come there and say, well, you're here for another 6-7 years. Like, it's either be quiet or or stay out in the cold. And there's no desire to have to sell these players, which is why I don't understand why they sign this contract. Because you see it when players on their last year or the last 2 years, easy for them to bag a new contract. Like Nketiah did the same when he was on his last year, bagged 100k undeservedly at Arsenal because he had that bargaining power and Arsenal wanted to keep him to make money out of him. You see all the time when players have a year or two left, that's when they're in the strongest position to negotiate salary. So I don't understand what these Chelsea players are doing in terms of signing that left. But no, Chelsea need to be punished heavily for what they're doing, because otherwise there isn't a deterrent for other clubs to do what they've done. Because I don't understand how they've been able to spend so much money in the space of a year and a half, and other clubs have not been able to. Is a mockery. That club, they need to be punished by both the league.
Yeah, small clubs like Everton. Clubs like Everton, and I don't know who else got points deduction last year. I can't remember. Was it Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, Forest.
Yeah.
Like, how are you giving them points deductions and they have to crawl out of relegation and fight their way through it? And then you've got Manchester City and Chelsea doing this.
Yeah, even less. I think had a case against them too.
That's the one-day case.
They won the case.
The one-day case.
Oh, good for them at least, yeah.
The one-day case, and rightfully so. Yeah. Everton can hold that, by the way. They tried it, so they can hold that. Me personally, hold that, man. Hold that. I want their new 50,000 seater to have only 10,000 fans on the first day in the championship when they're playing Sunday. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Listen, I'll be watching that as well. Put that on live on Sky Sports Football.
This has to be the season Everton get relegated. It has to be.
Has to be.
Oh, no, I think it is the season.
It
It is, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
At this point, for the noise they've made, enough to annoy me, I need it more than Man United finishing the European position. Give it to me. Just give it to me right here.
Surprisingly, they have a hate for Arsenal too. I don't know what we've done to them, but every time I see them on social media,
like
having a dig at us, I don't know what we've done to them.
Go for Liverpool. They're your neighbours. I hear it. You hate them. They hate you. Cool.
Did Arteta not play for them? Is that why there's hatred?
I wish I knew.
What? Because we took Wayne Rooney in 2004. And you have to take 7 million for Jared Branthwaite. We said no, you're unhappy because apparently he's worth that much. All right, then I hope he saves you this season. Because if he doesn't, you ain't getting 7 million, mate. You get 7 million instead. Congratulations, well done, PSR. Get the PSR out of my league, man. But they can hold
This is when I'm like, Jordan Pickford cannot be our best England goalkeeper. He can't. He plays for Everton. There has to be.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, Laura.
That's a good point.
How is Jordan Pickford our number one goalkeeper for England? He is shocking for Everton. Shocking.
It was crazy though. Am I wrong in saying that last year he was second place in clean sheets?
Yes, surprisingly.
That's mad.
Surprisingly, I couldn't believe it too.
That's crazy. How?
That's mad.
It must have been a goal fest last season. That's the only excuse.
It must have been. Not for Everton going forward, but at least they didn't have it coming back from them. Boy,
Yeah.
Clean sheets, Clean sheets. I know it's surviving relegation. Boy, anyway, we'll see what they do this summer. Or this season, I should say, rather. Right. England's League Castle, 2 games, 2 wins. Were you guys impressed by what you saw? He was quite brave in his selection. Angel Gomez was selected. Nani Madueke. Pardon?
Angel Gomez was amazing.
So good.
He was fantastic yesterday.
So good.
He was just so good yesterday.
Hands up if you know the idiots who sold him. Hands up. Anybody? Anybody?
Well,
Anybody?
Well, there's a lot of things United have done, to be honest. I mean,
bing, 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 bing. There he is.
I think it's the same club that let Pogba go on a free. Then pay a record transfer.
I'm not doing that.
And you let him go on a free again.
Oh, stay on topic. Stay on topic. Do it.
Okay, I'm sorry. The moment of madness.
Oh,
But I just had a long day at work, guys. Just it's been one of those days, man. It's Wednesday. I hear it. But no, you're right, Laura. He has been fantastic. Like, were you impressed by England as a whole in those 2 games?
Yeah, they were more free. They were creative. They attacked. It was so like it just flowed so well. It seemed like they all knew where they were. No one had to like go backwards and look for a ball. Everyone seemed to just fall into place yesterday and over the weekend. It was just, it was really nice to watch. It's like, I wish we played like this in the Euros, but hey.
Laura's right, because I generally don't watch. I can't remember the last time I watched an England friendly. And like, I generally
do you still think the Nations League is friendlies?
No, of course it is. Of course it is. Fraud competition. Honestly, you went for the biggest crooks.
Oh, like, was it friendly yesterday? God, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was still Nations League. The funny thing is, I still don't understand the format or how the Nation League works.
Me neither. And I actually watch it and I don't get it. No, me neither. Because I was looking at the league groups yesterday and I was like, oh, there's 2 groups per letter. So there's D1, D2, and then C1, C2.
You know more than me.
So is that's what the A1, A2, that's what it means?
Yeah, they're their own individual groups. So I think when first and second place win from each group, that becomes one group.
Oh.
And then they play each other, and then you qualify from group stage.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
I think that's how it's gonna. I think
I've never known how that format. UEFA just crooked anyway, like creating that stupid competition.
Yeah.
But
More money,
according
innit?
to Ronaldo, it's as important as the World Cup. So I guess we should.
Okay. He didn't say
Ronaldo
that.
just wants 1,000 goals, and Ronaldo just wants to be legendary. You have to watch his Rio Ferdinand podcast. Did you watch it?
I've watched the first part. I did the second part.
Oh my god! Again, the most arrogant person I've ever come across in my life. Like he literally just wants 1,000 goals, and he doesn't care how he gets it, who he plays for. He just wants 1,000 goals.
I hear it. I hear it. Me personally, I hear it. He wants history, man. He wants history. I hear it. Me personally,
he wants to be legendary.
I will say this though. The internet was a bit soft, a bit touchy when he said, you can find all my goals on video. It was a cheeky one. It was a cheeky one, but guys.
But then someone then posted a 9-minute video of all these goals. I don't even know where the heck he found.
Bro,
like,
when
someone posted a 9-minute clip of all 900 and all. At the time, I think it was 899 goals at the time when he did it. Before that, I think someone posted a clip of all the goals, and it was like 9 minutes something. It was ridiculous.
I'll do you one better. As soon as the Portugal game finished and they won the game, give it about 10 minutes, and there was a 45-minute clip of all the goals, which means goal, replay, celebration, and the next goal from 1 to, and I'm telling you right now, all of them, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want to praise it, but the dedication to find some of the goals that they found, because the video quality for some of them was atrocious. So where you found them from, it's like if someone recorded off their first ever flip phone, and remember how poor the quality of photos were on those ones. Yeah, man, it used to hurt. I'm sure Ronaldo was looking at that thinking, why are you even posting that one? Just say you support against this, man. Just let it go. Because for a fact, Ronaldo, he saw that. Someone told him that someone's posted a video of all your goals. He sat there and watched them one by one. Guaranteed.
100% he did.
Guaranteed. Glass of wine in hand to praise no. Even brought the kids like, come along, kids. Come along.
Georgia, stop cooking. Come here. Come sit down. Come sit down. Come here. Come on. Let's talk. Watch this.
Family movie time.
Even messaging the exes. Hey, Irina, thank you for everything this time. Look at the goals I scored. No 901. I'm here. Shout out Ronaldo, man. Shout out Ronaldo. But yeah, England played really well.
Yeah.
England played really well. We'll go to the Champions League.
But I'll say this quickly, Coach. Watching those matches, honestly, Southgate is a criminal. He's an absolute criminal. Because from various reasons. First, like the style of football, it was, as Laura said, it was a lot much better, fluid. Players actually wanted to get on the ball, like moving around. Like this was like these two matches, I've seen Saka roam about the most I've seen in any England game. Like he wasn't just sticking to the right, he was on the left, sometimes central, Grealish all over the place. You kind of saw the movement of all the players. Even I remember there was one time I saw Gomez pass the ball to the fence, move and win it back again. And I was like, I've never seen that from any England player under Gareth Southgate. Usually they play the ball and they're hiding. And then the defenders are having to either play the pass or play it long. And then secondly, also in terms of team selection, I like the fact that Carsley is brave to try different players and give people a chance. Because Gareth Southgate usually complained, what do you say? He said, we can't replace Calvin Phillips. And also things along, remember when he said that? So we don't have another Calvin Phillips and things along those lines. And he'll say, you see, this is why I play this player, or I can't replace it. But it's like, there are players there, just give them the opportunity. But he refused to use the array of players that was available to him. And you can kind of see the difference now. Carsley is giving players an opportunity, the confidence. And shows that, you know what, during Gareth Southgate's opportunity, he could have been a lot braver in terms of style of play and in terms of team selection, which he wasn't. And for me, he's just a criminal, absolute criminal, watching those two games and seeing the difference in two games compared to his 8 years as England manager.
Right. Well, you're absolutely spot on. And what I will add is you mentioned Jack Grealish. I'm happy you did because, boy, was it nice to see Jack Grealish taking the ball and trying to take on players and not go to the left, look like he's going to go past you, turn back and pass back and look for a foul. I wonder who is...
Back to Aston Villa Grealish.
Yeah, not the disciple of a certain cue ball that I don't want to mention. He's not the most criminal cue ball in the league. There's another cue ball in Manchester, no names, but he's a criminal indeed. And on that criminality, Laura, I know you're not on Twitter, but did you manage to find out about the trend about Barclays men?
No.
Nah, you missed the beauty. So, over the last 48 hours or so,
you hit me. Oh God!
Social media has been reminiscing about Barclays Premier League football from like 90s all the way up to about 2015, 2016.
Love that, yeah.
We're having compilations of UC Laskalainen. We're seeing Hugo Rodallega back. Oh, yeah. Every name you want to drop, they were back.
Steed Malbronk.
Fabio Rock'em
No.
We got names for you. It was a great time.
Darren Bent.
Darren Bent.
Yeah, even Darren Bent.
Who, by the way, is part of the 100 Premier League goal club. I didn't remember that. That's another good fact.
I didn't know that.
Well. I mean, bro, they threw it back. They threw it all.
I mean, it got a bit ridiculous when I saw Fabio Barini.
Okay, yeah. Some of them.
I forgot about Fabio Barini.
Oh, if you think that's bad,
did he play for Liverpool?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
That guy should have never been a footballer, honestly.
Never,
if you think that's bad, someone posted the compilation of Voronin's time at your club. It was horrendous. It was
Andre
bad.
Voronin.
Yeah, and there were no goals. The balls were just flying everywhere. Oh gosh.
Oh God! If I go back to that era,
what I'll do is tonight I'll get you some links. And you just watch. You see the videos. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Just make you remember about when.
It's a fun time. No, that's hilarious. That's brilliant.
Oh, it was a great time, man.
Andre Voronin, I would have cried.
Andre Voronin. We had Adel Tarat. We had everybody. They went all the way back. It was wonderful.
Charles and Zofia and who was the striker you used to play with?
Rodallega.
The
yes.
link up between those two. Yeah.
Yes. Even what's that Russian striker's name? Roman Pavyachenko. Even he got one. Even he got one for Tottenham. What a time.
Oh, amazing.
Right. Just before we end the stream, firstly, I need to get my charger. So I'm going to ask you guys a question and then I'm going to go off camera and get my charger. The Champions League format. Have you guys got used to it yet? Do you guys understand it? Or what is your understanding of it so far?
I understand it, honestly. And in fairness, I was a bit confused before on whether it was going to work, but I think it actually worked in terms of they have the 2 league tables and the 4 different stages, and I think the top 8 go through. I mean, there's a group that have to then qualify to get into the last 16, and then obviously hours are out. I kind of do like it because I think you probably get a lot more quality matches now. I think one of my, I guess over the last 2 seasons, there have been a lot of dross matches during the group stages. Sometimes you do get a few good ones, but then you also get a lot of bad ones too. But I think this one is great because then you get a lot of good matches against the big teams early on. And I guess you get a compilation of actually big games between big teams early on. So I think I actually do like, we'll see how it goes, but I kind of do like the new format. And the fact that during this league table stage, we're going to get a lot of quality matches and a lot of good matches between good teams. So I'm all for it, to be honest. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I'm for it.
Likewise. I had to watch a video a couple of times to understand it.
Yeah.
But once I understood it, I like the system. I like the format. Like Basil said, I think you'd get more quality matches out of it. What I don't understand, though, is, so for example, Liverpool play 4 home games and 4 away games.
Yeah.
But we don't play those same home teams away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because they've got now such a big league, what they've done is just drawn you against 8 teams, and those are your 8 teams to play against. So rather than worrying about,
does that make it less fair as a debate as well? And then we're playing more matches, aren't we? So is that a Premier League issue too when it comes to injuries and games and things like that?
To answer both questions, I'll let Basil answer after me as well if it was have gone wrong elsewhere. Is in terms of the Premier League side, obviously now instead of the games ending in January and December, they end in January now, so that could be a problem scheduling wise. I mean, City players have already been making noise in the press saying that they're playing 3 games pretty much all the time. Of course, they've got Club World Championship coming up as well, so they've just got game after game after game after game. There is no rest. And in terms of it being less fair, there is an argument for and against that because, you know, obviously if you're playing one of the big boys right away, it means that they also have the pressure on them to try and get the points straight away, because if you don't get into that top 8, you're going into a knockout to see if you join the other 8 to get through.
Yes.
If you don't, you're completely out of Europe. So the pressure's on immediately from the jump. There is no hiding place. But the less fair side of it is if you are, dare I say, a minnow, and you sometimes you get a so-called easier draw of the pots coming out the pots. Well, this time there's not really any place for you to hide because you're definitely facing a big boy, whether you like it or not. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. What do you think, Basil?
I see where Laura's come in terms of it can be unfair because I guess if, for instance, let's say Liverpool are playing Real Madrid, and that's the one match.
Which we are,
okay. Let's say Real Madrid at home. So then I can understand Laura's in terms of it's a disadvantage because you're not going to play them again. It's another team, whereas you're playing Real Madrid and it's at their stadium in a way. So in a way, I can see where Laura's come that it's unfair because the one match you're going to play against them is away from home rather than at home. So it kind of we'll see. It kind of can be unfair depending on which stage of the games we're at and then where you have to play the games. Because I say for some teams, home advantage counts for them. So then I guess obviously with the normal group stages, you know, okay, we play them away, we're going to face them at home in the next time.
Yeah.
So I kind of.
So you still play the same number. You'd still play the same number of games that you would have played in the group stage. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So we'll see. I think we'll see how it goes. Like I said beforehand, before the explanation, which I only found out, kind of, as Laura said, watched a few times after the draw to understand it. I was very, very skeptical. I was like, this just seems like nonsense. How is it going to work? But then obviously seeing the video, I'm like, you know what? We'll see. Because I think, like I said, when it kicks off, I think it starts either next week or the week after.
Yeah.
No, I think it starts. I think it's next week.
Next week. Yeah.
So we'll see. So yeah, we should have a lot more entertaining games, and I think we'll probably get more worthy winners because then, like I said, a lot of the times we look at City will have an easy group stage, maybe an easy round of 16, and maybe not face a big team until semi-final. Yeah. So then you're saying, well, some people's route is a lot easier, whereas now you know you're going to have to face big teams. So if you get to that final or semis, then you know I've had to go through like a number of difficult teams to get there. So I think you probably get more worthier champions now than you probably would have done in the past.
Yeah, I'm happy with that actually because
that's a nice way to look at it actually.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. The one thing I'm very happy about is the fact that if you're knocked out of Europe. It's done. I've always found that a bit bizarre.
You don't go into Europa?
No. And I think that's
nice. Okay.
I don't think you should be rewarded for finishing third by going into a next competition. That's weird.
I agree.
And it literally, it diminishes the competition below, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? If you haven't made it, you haven't qualified it, then it's done. Sorry, it is what it is. You know, you have to earn your spots. You know, because I think you've had a couple of times where the team that's coming out of Champions League won the Europa League, like Sevilla. Sevilla have done that before. And and Sevilla in the Europa League is a cheat code. Once they dropped in, everyone's like, "Oh, flip me, here we go again." Really, you know. So no, I'm happy about that. I don't think anyone should be rewarded for not making it. So if you don't make it, I think that's good. And also number two, it reduces the amount of games that you play by a long shot. By a long shot. And you can focus on your domestic season and get things going from there. So yeah, no, I'm glad about that, honestly.
I'll say another benefit too, which people may not realize, is that I'm glad that Amazon Prime have some of the games. So for those who have like a Prime membership, so you can watch, like Liverpool's game will be on Amazon Prime next week.
Yeah.
So
I got Prime.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then also too, and also the highlights are also on BBC. So BBC will be showing the highlights too.
Yes,
which is
the new Champions League show.
Exactly. Because I remember back in the day when it was on Sky, at least ITV had the highlights, so people could
The highlights, yes.
So ever since gone to BT Sports, like everything's been monopolized there. And so at least now people get to still see some of the highlights for at least with a cheaper subscription, watch some of the games on Prime, considering how expensive BT Sport is.
Right.
I know.
There's going to be a lot of games as well.
I deactivate over the summer. So from May onwards, I don't subscribe to TNT.
That's smart, to be fair. That's smart. Because
If
what
Liverpool are playing on BT Sport on that opening Saturday, I have to resubscribe to TNT. Which for some reason, Liverpool on a 12:30 is like our favorite game.
I realised the Premier League love when Liverpool on a 12:30. They love it.
Love Liverpool on a 12:30 kickoff, which charges me an extra God knows how much a month, but it's fine.
I would discuss what device I'm using, but I don't want to be in any trouble. So I am a paying subscriber. I'm a paying subscriber, guys, and I watch my football very fairly. You know, don't look for me. I'm a very good citizen. I pay my TV license as well. But yeah, no. The last thing I was going to say before we go off is just the scheduling, because I know they did mention that some Champions League games may be played on Thursdays. So I'm interested to see how that works out with the clash with Europa and Conference League, especially with obviously English. We live in England, English football. If some teams are playing on the same day, you know, who's going to be on TNT 1, TNT 2, it's going to be on Amazon Prime and, you know, show at the same time. It's going to be very interesting to see. But either way, I think it makes for a very exciting competition. And I'm excited to see it. I managed to trial it on Football Manager, and it works well, if I'm being honest. I think it looks good.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Obviously, that's a game. So for you managers that are going to be stressed, hey, run your thing. You know what I mean? You're going to be jet lagged and everything. That's not my beef. That's your beef.
I have a quick question. Who are United to be playing on the first day of the Champions League?
Laura, thank you for coming. It's been a wonderful podcast, and your first appearance here. Basil.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, guys.
Damn this guy. I hope you guys get knocked out. You see that 16?
Oh,
yeah, I want you gone. Give me that other, that's gone.
You deserve to lose to Tottenham for that.
Absolutely. 4-1. That's a 3-1-4.
Just like, if we don't win, my silence in that group for the next for at least 2-3 days, you'll know why.
I'm gonna at you at everything. I'll post you at you on everything. But yeah, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, you're now part of the Style of Play squad, the team. So thank you for
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Joining the team. Glad to have you on board. Yes. Likewise. And Basil, I'm a bit 50-50 about having you on board right now, but thank you for coming again.
Don't worry, I'll behave as the season goes on.
That's all right. I'm not going to behave at all, believe me. Yeah, if we had did a podcast after Liverpool destroyed Man United, believe me, I probably wouldn't be able to host this ever again. But, you know, I think it's a good thing that we all had a break. But yeah, for those of you watching, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and obviously drop your comments in the comment box below. And if you want to be a guest on this show, you have to just ask. You know what I mean? If you love the game, you love sports, I say sports, football in particular, don't call it the S word. If you call it the S word, you're not invited. The S word, everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's not a swear word, even though it feels like a swear word. Do not come into the show. But other than that, subscribe to everything. Follow us on Twitter. And I believe Theo has opened us TikTok as well, actually. So yeah, follow us on there as well. And I will try and drop you some content there as well. But yeah, it's been another episode of start of play. Theo, forgive me because I do not remember what number it is, but we'll find out when it's posted. Peace and have a good night.
Thanks,